And now your audio's on. And there you go.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Beth.
Make sure your little thing's on because I know you turned it off.
I turned it on.
Okay.
All good. I will.
Did she say
Oh,
sleeping?
can you shut those doors for me? Thank you.
Did she say sleeping? No, you look good.
No, we're just all tired.
Tired.
Yeah, I was here until 8 o'clock last night for Bill Career Night, so I was here from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. last night.
Last night wasn't the man of worship. That was
That was 2 or 3 nights ago, yeah.
Yeah, cause my sister called me. She's like, FYI, I know you're out. Yeah, that's what she saved me on that.
My GPS saved me on that one.
But I don't use, it's smart to use it and I forget, cause it will tell you.
I use my GPS everywhere I go simply for traffic.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
No.
Because one of my core values is efficiency. There's nothing I hate more than if I could have done something faster and not have done it faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, with that being said, welcome to Ignite. Session number 13.
Are we on YouTube?
Yeah, we're live. We're live. We're live. So this is session 13. It is qualified potential buyers and sellers. And you know who I am. Not everybody out in Zoom land probably does. So hi, my name is Beth. I am the coach, the productivity business coach here at Keller Williams Commonwealth, and I have been in real estate for about the last 11 years. Actually, it'll be 11 years in about 2 weeks. So, it is 11 years this month though. And if you know anything about me, you know that I consider coaching an exchange of energy. So I'm going to give 100% today. And I ask that anybody that's here gives 100% back. Otherwise, I'm probably going to end up matching your energy because I'm a weird energy sponge in that way. And when that happens, things get weird. All right, so bear with me. But we are going to talk today about qualifying buyers and sellers. But first, before we dive into that, I actually really want to talk to you about your success systems. So, talk to me, what challenges did you encounter with your success system?
I didn't have them on through my notes.
The handwritten notes?
Handwritten notes.
Okay. What's the challenge you're finding with that?
Just haven't sat down to do it.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm a problem.
You sound like Taylor Swift. Me. I'm the problem, it's me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a time blocking issue, right?
I have to realize that conversations happen organically and then those count.
Yes,
So
that is a
I
great point.
created those yesterday. Organically, and so I know what the rule is, but there's also like other things that can.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is really important. So, for those of you that may not have been able to hear Renee, she was saying that she forgets sometimes to count conversations in her success system that happen organically. And that is a really great point because we do that a lot. We assume that we can't count it if we're not sitting down and just focusing on those contacts at that time, right? But lead generation happens outside that time all the time. So we need to make sure that we are keeping track and documenting those conversations and adding them towards our total because those, honestly, those organic conversations are probably the ones that are going to be the most impactful in the long run. Okay. All right. So did you have any ahas from your success system?
I had ahas yesterday about how easy the 36 touch plan is. Like, yeah, it was really amazing to learn the smart plans. More about them yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. The 36 touch plan in your smart plans is absolute gold. And if you're not utilizing it, it is just this, it's a missing piece of the pie, right? You're probably going, I feel like I'm missing something, and that is what it is.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I realized, like, I feel like that needs to be a time block,
Mhm.
is database management.
Yeah, so
So like lead gen, follow up, database management, and then I was gonna talk to you about what else needs to be in as well.
yeah, so funny that you say that, because today's workout of the day for your coaching program is all about database management. Because my brain is in the same place, right? The more I'm talking with agents in our coaching program, the more I'm realizing that this is a big piece of the struggle. All right,
I just didn't understand the value of it until yesterday.
okay. So you're saying I've been telling you this for months and you just got
It
anxious?
makes sense, because I was like, I don't do that.
Yeah. I get it.
But, cause on the 80/20, I'm like, hey, I'm focusing on my 20, I hear this, but right now. I can't 20 that, but now I understand that that needs to be in the 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For right now, it's in the 20. And then once you get it secured, that becomes part of the 80.
Yeah, because it'll just automatically be part of.
Yeah. It's just going to be part of what you do, and it's not going to take such a large chunk of your time to focus on it to do it. But until then, yeah, it's got to be part of the 20% so you can eventually, have a grasp on all of it. All right, good stuff. Well, today's objectives are to identify where and how to lead generate for buyers and sellers, to classify leads by ability and motivation, and to qualify A buyers and sellers in preparation for an appointment. So you probably don't know what an A buyer or seller is, but we're going to learn that today. And we're going to talk about any questions you might have about that stuff. So your number one job as a real estate agent is to find ways to get in the path of motivated buyers and sellers. And Gary Keller tells us this in Shift, but I think you guys probably all already know that. So congratulations, because the lead generation habits that you already have actually started fulfilling this, and you probably didn't realize that. But the second half of this quote is really what is about that 80/20 principle, right? Which is the motivated. Okay. So the very important word here is the motivated. So we focus our 20% on the most motivated buyers and sellers that are in our database, right? All right, so let's begin the path to find the motivated. We're going to dispel some myth understandings. When I first saw this, I thought they had misspelled it. I thought it was supposed to say misunderstandings. And I was like, oh no, I see what they did there. They're being clever. Okay. So when we're new to something, it can be easy to kind of get caught up in the misunderstandings or the myth understandings that kind of block our success. Okay. So remember on day one, we talked about limiting beliefs, and that's really what these myth understandings are that they're talking about. Okay. So we're going to unlimit your thinking so you can move forward. What are some beliefs that you currently hold about finding buyers and sellers that you think are blocking you from finding them? I can tell you what one of mine was. One of mine was when I first got started in real estate, was that any of my past coworkers wouldn't want to work with me. I had worked at that company for 10 years. I had hundreds of direct reports to me, right? Why would I think that those people wouldn't want to use me as their real estate agent? I have no idea, right? But I had told myself that because I had left the company and I went to do this other thing, that there's no way they would want to work. And in fact, my coach was like, how come you haven't reached out to any of these people you used to work with, whether they be colleagues or these people that were your reports or anything like that? And I said, I would never do that. I would never assumed that they looked down on me for me. Okay, slide, right? I left to do this other thing. When in all actuality, leaving a corporate structure to go and start your own business, I think gives you one heck of a promotion. But at the time, my brain was wired differently. Okay. So, what do you think is a misunderstanding or a myth that you hold that's currently holding you back from finding buyers and sellers?
I'm new, so no one's gonna.
I'm new. No one's going to want to talk to me. Yeah.
But
Sure.
then we learned that 73 or 75% of buyers and sellers just use whoever the first person that they bump into or meet up.
That's right.
So,
That's right. 75% of people are just going to use whoever is top of mind and is right there. And because the fact of the matter is they don't know the difference. Right? We know the difference, but they don't know the difference. So unless we tell them, never gonna know. Okay. So another one that I know a lot of people think is that lead generation costs money and they don't have any money. So there's no way that they could, that they could possibly get buyers and sellers because they don't have any money to put into it. Well, I can tell you that if lead generation is costing you money, you're probably not doing it right. Okay. The myth that leads have to be bought is crazy to me. Because truly, if you're working with your sphere, you're working with referrals, you e-prospecting, none of that costs any money. The only thing it costs is your time. Okay. Now, does time equal money in the long run? Sure. Okay. But it's not money directly out of your bank account currently. All right. All right. So the National Association of Realtors collects data every year on buyers and sellers' experiences with the real estate transaction. And this table shows the results from the survey from 2001. I'm sorry, from 2021. What do these numbers tell us about where to find potential buyers?
talk to your friends, know your neighbors.
Talk to your friends and know your neighbors. Yeah. More buyers are finding their agents through referrals. Right? And the more people you know, the more business you're going to get. Okay. And honestly, the more people you know and you are the agent for, so you help them buy, right? The more likelihood you're getting for referrals, whether those be for buyers or sellers, truly. Right. So, what methods of lead generation and follow up have we covered in Ignite so far that sort of align with where to find buyers?
Contact your sphere.
Yeah. Yeah. Through social media, open houses, right? We can find buyers in all those places. Now, here is the National Association of Realtors data on sellers. All right. And it's quite like the buyers one, as you can see. So, what do these numbers tell us about where to find potential sellers?
Go back to how buyers go.
Yep.
The page of these. But sellers too.
Yeah, that's right. So, like buyers, sellers are finding their agents through referrals, and a higher percentage, though, are using an agent that they have bought with before or sold with before. So, what does this tell us?
Oh,
Yes, the fortunes in the follow up, right? We should maintain relationships with our clients post a transaction. So many times, real estate agents get in the grind of the real estate roller coaster that we talked about the other day, right? Where they're working in their business, they're generating business, And then all of a sudden, they work on that transaction and then they go back to just finding new business. They don't maintain relationships so the business stays steady. Because we learned from before, if they maintain relationships, those leads keep coming in, right? And yesterday, you learned that there are some tools that you can use to cultivate that repeat business from sellers, right? So that's like your 36 touch plan, your smart plans. So we've got those things all built in for you to at least assist you in maintaining that relationship. And I'm sure you've noticed Keller Williams has a model for everything. Okay. So Keller Williams has a model and system for everything that you do in real estate. Likewise, we do have our own language, right? That's actually one thing that people say when they come here is they're like, you guys have a lot of Kellerisms, which I think is interesting because truthfully, these are probably words that should be used industry wide. We're just using them here, I think at a different level. But you're gonna learn, that there's difference between leads and contacts, right? And opportunities is a word in command that we just are simply using to define your sales pipeline. So when we say opportunities, what we mean is sales pipeline. And of course, this is tracking all of your deals. And it's a best practice to put your A, B, and C potential clients into your opportunity pipeline. So here's where agents make mistakes. And you can see here, like for instance, with your buyers, you've got cultivate and appointments and active and under contract. I would say 85% of the time, agents don't even go to look at their opportunities pipeline until they need this. However, if we are starting here at Cultivate, so we're starting when they're a C buyer here at Cultivate, we're now able to do the tracking that a lot of people, at least in the productivity coaching program, have told me that they're struggling with, right? They're struggling with tracking their stuff so they have their conversion rates, but we're going to see them here if we're putting everything in. Okay. So you can see up here that when you open up your command, you're going to see everything from cultivate all the way to closing. You're going to see getting paid. You're going to see archived deals, and your opportunities even projects the total income in your sales pipeline. Now, this is a lot, and I don't expect you to learn all of this today. All right. But you can go to command your business in Connect. They're going to deep dive this for you in KW Connect. So if you're going, hey, this is an opportunity for me to get a higher knowledge on this and understand this at a better level, go to command your business on Connect, and they're really going to deep dive it for you.
Can you show us where that is? Like under command business, where would we search?
When you go into Connect,
Right there.
yeah, it's up here at the top.
Okay.
Right there. Let's look. All right, here we go. Good morning.
Hey, Beth.
I'm great. How are you?
Made it.
Well, we love to have you here.
I love to be here.
Good.
It's so much more, it seems.
Well, I'm glad you're getting stuff out of it. All right, Renee, what ahas do you have about the things we just talked about?
The numbers that, again, it's just top line with the way.
Yeah. Right? I mean, I don't think anything that we looked at is a shock, right? I think we knew that referrals is where we're going to get our business from. I don't think people realize it was that high of a number, right? I think we all knew that this is probably where buyers are finding their agent. I don't think we realized it was almost half of the people are getting them there. Okay. And the same thing with sellers, I don't think we probably realized that if we simply kept in contact with people and stayed top of mind, my goodness, that's a vast majority of the folks. Everything else, nominal. But the funny part is as agents, we're so willing to do all of this stuff here and not this stuff. So we're so willing to go to an open house, like host open houses, because we think that that's where we're getting business. But the fact of the matter is that's 2%.
It's 2%, and if you don't follow up, it's useless.
And if you don't follow up, it's useless. That's
I
right.
have had complete almost constantly with everything that I've done wrong. Like compiling my COI list, as what do you call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm realizing I've never followed up. I've been very blessed, people like me, they come back to me, but not all.
Right.
I've missed a tremendous amount of business.
Yeah.
This is really actually quite some.
Did you watch the class yesterday?
I did.
Yeah. On the smart plans, that 36 touch plan is gonna be a game changer for you.
I sat down and spent a lot of time compiling. And going through and finding all my emails. And getting it ready to put into command
Yeah.
for the touch plan.
I think you're really gonna like it.
Oh, no, I love it. I mean, it's ridiculous to put forth such effort.
Yeah.
For an open house or a transaction and then never go back to them. That's where the majority. Relationship business is the foundation.
Yeah.
In many other areas to where we can get business, but that's the foundation.
I remember I actually was having a conversation with an agent once. She was just getting started in business and she was really struggling. And, she wasn't spending her time the way she probably should be, and that it's fine. We know that happens when agents first get started. They get that analysis paralysis that happens at the very beginning. And I walked up behind her and she was on her computer and she was designing a for sale sign. Okay. With her picture on it and for sale and the da. And it was beautiful. She was doing a great job. And I asked her, I was like, oh my gosh, you're doing such a great job. She's like, yeah, I really like doing this. And I said, oh, okay, great. I was like, so how long did it take you to do that? And she said, well, I'm kind of picky. So, it's taking me a little while to do it. I worked on it last night for an hour or so. And, I've worked on it today for an hour or so. And I said, okay, great. I was like, if you had taken that roughly 2 hours though, and you had simply called your friends and neighbors in that 2 hours, you might have a yard to put that sign in.
Yeah.
I said, and hear me out. You don't need the sign until you've got the yard. Without the yard, the sign is useless. And this is a conversation I have a lot with agents that, they're new, they come in, they're like, oh, well, I have to have the perfect business card. Gotta have the perfect business card, gotta design that. I've gotta have the perfect collateral to give to people. It's gotta be perfect. I gotta design all. No, you don't. Not if you don't have anyone to give it to. Okay, so the validity of your business doesn't come from your collateral or your signs. The validity of your business comes from the substance of the business, which is the relationships. This is the validity, not this. Okay. But I know it's a tough pill to swallow sometimes.
And it's so very true, because of busy work, we can busy, we can't do this until we do that. We can't, we've gotta have the perfect signs, we gotta have the perfect things on this, so you're so very correct, Beth.
Well,
That's not me, I don't have anything.
my old coach, he actually had a button, like a that you could pin on yourself, a big button made that said busy on it. And he called it his busy badge. And so if he walked around the office and he saw that people were doing things like that, he'd put the busy badge on you. And you got to wear the busy badge. He'd be like, you gotta put it on, you're doing the busy work, you're not doing the real stuff. And you're like, no, please don't do this. So finally you would be like, fine, I'm just gonna do the lead action.
That's
Okay. I'm not humiliate you all like that.
And
And
some of those for us, Beth.
yeah, get busy badges. Do you know how unpopular I would be? Are you
True.
But so for my door players, I went from the first 3 months, like stressing over it to this month, I was ticked because it took me, like, I wanted this done in an hour and this doesn't matter. So the perspective change was,
Was immediate,
Yeah.
right?
time, this is 8% and I don't wanna waste it, and so. Yeah, like,
And it is amazing. And it's funny, Tara and I were talking about that yesterday too, because I'm working on for agents that come into the coaching program. It's a 90-day touch program that I'm designing in Smart Plans. So for their first 90 days, they'll get 3 emails a week from me with highlights of what they should be studying in the MRE. So that they have the base foundation in that first 90 days. So I map it all out and I'm an analog person, so it's in my like binder and I've written it all out. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna go create the smart plan. It took me 40 minutes to write the first email because I couldn't figure out how to get my signature block in it. And I went to Tara and I was like, I'm not built for this. Like, this is busy work and I can't do that. Like, how do we streamline this? Because I can't. Like, I'm on one email. This is not working for me. We're gonna find a solution because I'm gonna make that thing happen. But when you start to realize what your 20% is, the 80% annoys you so bad.
Yes.
When you know where your money comes from, you only want to do the money generating activities.
Oh, I was mad at myself yesterday trying to find, I had to go into dog leave, I had to go into Flex.
Yeah.
My contacts in Flex from years past to find emails from clients because I never had a CRM. I've never had one.
How long have you been in business?
15 years.
15 years, never had a CRM.
Yeah, and I was top producer for most of those.
Oh my goodness.
life change.
But so
Could you imagine the business you could have?
oh, don't tell me that. You don't have to remind me. That's why I was pissed off. I thought, you know, I'm sorry about my language. I just sit there and see. Well, life was different.
Life was different.
I had a lot of challenges, trust me.
But honestly, when we know better, we do better, right? And if you don't know what you don't know.
That's one of the reasons that I came to Keller Williams with systems here. I
Yeah.
know that they have the best systems there is worldwide as far as real estate. And to
Yes.
finally put at the last leg of my business, put it into the way I can run it simpler,
That's
work
right.
smarter, not harder. And so therefore.
There you go.
And I'm getting that, and I thank you all for that.
Like I said, we're not always, people don't always love to hear it when we go, but we do it right. They go, oh, don't listen to those guys, they're drinking that red Kool-Aid, don't,
Oh, gosh.
we know the rumors are out there, we hear the whistlers.
Yeah, it's a cult, I've heard that.
Oh, yeah, and if the cult means I actually make money, cool, sign me up. Sign me up.
My life is easier. And
Yeah,
my
that's
work
right.
Is streamlined, systematic. It
Yeah.
reduces.
I mean,
Kool-Aid, pass me by.
exactly, I'll mix it up for you, bring it on, like, let's go.
Yeah.
You told me something too, and it makes me mad. And I leave, then I process overnight, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I had that conversation with another agent a couple of days ago, and she was mad at me, and I said, I understand. I said, and do you understand why I said what I said? And she went, I mean, I understand why you said it. And I was like, okay. So are you mad that I said it, or are you mad at the message? Because either way,
Resonate with you a little too.
like, either way, right? Okay. So you have probably already heard the phrase ready, willing, and able, but today we're actually gonna shake that up a little bit, okay? We're gonna say this a little bit differently, because now we're gonna look at it as able, ready, and willing. Okay, so going forward, it'll be able, ready, and willing. And why do you think we start with able?
If you don't have financing, no one's.
That's right. Because all of the leads have potential, right? But they're not all able to buy a house or sell a house right now. So if we start with ready, it doesn't matter, because lots of people can be ready, but they may not be able to do the thing. So we start with able so that we can devote the right amount of time and resources to each potential client based on their needs and where they are. And we do that because, once again, when we talk about the Y4C2Ts, one of those C's is that customers always come first. And it is in the customer's best interest that we don't try to guide them in a direction of something they can't do. Right? So we have to put them first. Focus becomes increasingly possible in direct proportion to how clear you are about what you want, when you want it, and what you must do to get it. Okay, take a minute and process that. Focus becomes increasingly possible in direct proportion to how clear you are about what you want, where you want it, and what you must do to get it. And that doesn't just apply to us as agents, this applies to our customers as well. So when I go through goal setting activities with all of you, or a leader goes through goal setting activities with you, I want you to take that in, not just as you setting your goals, but understand that it is a lesson in how you can help customers set goals. Okay? So if you're having a conversation with a customer and they're not sure what to do you think that maybe they could even benefit from a tool like the GPS? Right? Goals, priorities, and strategies. So your goal is to buy a house. Your priorities are going to be maybe saving your money, right, for that down payment, maybe fixing your credit, right? And truly identifying where you want to live. So those can be those 3 steps as well, right? And now, what are your strategies that you're going to do to save money? Right? What are your strategies that you're going to do to fix your credit? What strategies are you going to use to help identify the right neighborhood for you to be in? It's the same tools that I'm using with all of you for your businesses. We can be translating that directly over to our customers. So I'm hoping that when I'm going through these activities with you, that you are taking that in, not just for yourself, but for you to be able to transfer that to them. Okay, I'm hoping I'm role modeling it a little bit.
You definitely.
Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Sorry.
Oh, you're okay.
Again, it was a huge wreck.
Honey, you're okay.
That's-
She was stuck too.
I just got here.
I got into a neighborhood of, to get redirected into the neighborhood of ice and snow.
I didn't
No,
know,
I came to completely.
but I have a big car, I was just like, yeah, I don't have time.
By the time I could through the traffic, I backed up really bad. There was a big truck, of course.
Of course, there always
I'm
is.
sorry, I just hijacked your.
Oh, honey, you're good.
I
No,
just-
You're all
it was-
good.
I thought, but I can't believe I'm late again.
It takes a lot more than that to distract me.
I heard that one on the radio in a different direction. You guys got to on the road system. Surrounding counties, I've been in 9 different counties. Amazing. Fayette County.
My son is roaming around in here still because he's still off school. Yeah, that was him running around here.
School is still out, yeah, it is.
Yes.
They
This is day 9 of no
Is
school.
it day 9?
Day 9
They
of no
put the
school.
new drivers out that had never been behind in a truck before. This is the most atrocious road cleaning I've ever saw. Ever. I lived in Lexington for 40 years. This is stupid.
Day
Just went
9.
through a
That's
neighborhood of $500,000 houses. The road was clear.
Oh, yeah,
Because
HOA.
your HOA doesn't.
Well, it was the public roads leading into it, and I love it, were all just perfectly clear as well. Cause I was thinking that too, and then I thought, well, this is weird, it's extended way beyond the neighborhood. But when I got redirected in the houses that were less than $200,000.
All of a sudden, it's interesting
It
how
was
it works.
pure
Right?
ice on there, it had not been touched at all, I mean, not salt, no.
Money.
Here's my shocked face. Like,
You're hilarious.
That's good.
But no, I'm sorry, I hijacked it, that was my big thing about real estate, is I came in as I thought. Well, that's really sad, they've done nothing for this neighborhood. Because it's lower
lower income, yeah.
tax bracket of houses.
This is why I'm really passionate personally about, because I've been in this industry for so long. This is year 11 for me. So I've been in this industry so long that if I am going to do community service, I am going to do it for the low income communities, and I'm going to do that for the unhoused. And I am very passionate about that. I feel like I cannot make money off the people that are selling, buying the big houses and not give back to the people in the woods.
Yeah.
You must
and-
read $50,000, it's the same as you do.
Well, if you talk
That's right.
sometimes, 'cause I'm passionate.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
That way you go on.
Statistic that I found just.
Yeah.
Calculating.
Absolutely.
40, it was either 43 or 48% of houses in Lexington are rentals.
Yeah,
Are you serious?
half of the city is rentals. Yes.
They're gone, you can't sell them.
well, 2022, 33% purchased by large investment corporations, single family. 24% last year to start.
But understand, when you're in a community,
40% of the homes are not available.
Well, this is my shock phase.
And
Yeah.
I wonder how you.
Like-
And values of it.
but understand, think of where we live real quick. Think about the demographic of where we live. We live in a place with with the giant university, right? Those students, they're not buying houses. Those professors, even if they're coming in maybe on adjunct, whatever it might be, they're not buying houses, they're renting, right? Because they're not a permanent fixture here yet.
And we overbuilt.
And the hospitals, how many hospitals systems do we have in Lexington? All of them.
There are a lot of apartments now geared towards those hospital systems.
So when you start looking at that and you start looking at the makeup of the city, there's no surprise to me. And the fact that Airbnb now is such a huge thing because everyone is so obsessed with sports in this town, it's insane to me. That people are willing to pay astronomical amounts to stay for just a weekend to go to a basketball game.
Really? See, it's my shock phase.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a great moneymaker. And listen, I'm all about a good hustle. I'm not gonna be mad about that. But what I will say is it does affect the amount of homes that can be sold. It affects property values and it affects the overall community in that people don't have the same attachment to a community if they're renting as they do when they own. The pride in home ownership is not there, right? So I'm not saying one side is good or bad, I'm just saying that's the overall picture and why it looks the way it does.
That's so interesting. I mean, it just blows you all blow my mind with all this stuff.
Well, I'm really gonna blow your mind now. Okay, here we go. So when we're determining able, ready, and willingness of the potential client, we've got to emphasize coming from curiosity. Okay. Coming from curiosity. And why do you think we stress coming from curiosity?
You need to know what you want, when you want it, and how to get it.
That's right.
Right.
So when we think about the able client, right? The able client is financially and legally capable of completing a transaction now, but we've got to come from curiosity to figure that out. Okay. The ready client is a potential client who is motivated and prepared to make those strategic moves in their lives. Okay. So they're motivated and they're prepared to do what it takes. That's a ready person. Whereas a willing is just a potential client who's eager to buy or sell or both. Okay.
You repeat that.
Yeah, a willing customer is somebody who is a potential client who is eager to buy or sell or both. Eagerness doesn't equal ability, right? Potential doesn't equal ability. The only thing that equals ability is being capable.
Capability.
Okay. So this is the starting point for the A, B, and C customers. That's your framework for it, right? So an A customer is the able customer. A B customer is your ready customer. They have the potential. And a C customer is eager. There you go. That breaks down for you. So you've probably, if you've sat through any of my trainings, heard me talk about tagging your database, right? And I call these a little bit different things, right? And you can call them whatever you want to. I don't care if you call this one Big Bird, this one Elmo, and this one Cookie Monster. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me, though, is that you understand the difference between the three, and you understand each one needs to be communicated to differently. Okay?
Now, what customer, for instance, I was intrigued by a house. Found out the price, got even more intrigued. And we wanted the house. Now, what category?
So if they were intrigued at first, that means they were motivated, and were they prepared to make a strategic move? No.
I did.
Okay, so they were probably here, probably a seller, probably a C customer, right?
Okay.
And then they moved to being a B customer when they actually went and viewed the property.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then when the offer is made, or the talk of the offer being made is happening, now they're becoming an A.
Okay.
Okay, so I want you to think of it like this.
Sorry.
The A buyers and sellers, remember, our number one goal is to secure the appointment to close a signed agreement with A buyers and sellers. Our number one goal with an A is to get them to sign the agreements. Okay. And our B buyers and sellers are either unable, not ready, not willing right now. Okay, so something needs to happen first before a B will sign an agreement. Okay, our first goal with B buyers and sellers is to follow up with frequency. These are the folks that I would be calling at least weekly. Okay. And you're using touch plans with them that have attractive offers that are going to elicit responses from them so you can maintain communication on a long term. Okay, C buyers and sellers, they have no immediate need to transact, right? We know that. And those are the folks that are perfect candidates for those longer term nurture plans, like a 36 touch. Okay. So these are your 36 touch folks here. These folks, I'm up in their grill like I'm at a barbecue. Okay.
Without alienating.
Yeah, and these folks here, I'm getting appointments and I'm getting names on lines. Okay. All right, what are your ahas about that?
Well, essentially, we have to coach our clients. I mean, that's a huge part of our job. There's a little bit, although we're not licensed in financial counseling, we're not financial counselors, but I mean, I've had to tell people you need to quit door dashing every meal. And trust me, it worked, and their parents thanked me. They're about $1,500 a month for DoorDash.
Right.
And so they couldn't afford the home that they wanted. And so we do some financial counseling. Do you want it bad enough? How bad do you want it? What areas in your budget can you cut back on that are actually keeping you from having a good investment / home to live in?
So my husband's gonna love this being live streamed and recorded, and I'm going to put it on YouTube, but let me tell you a story. when I first met my husband, now mind you, he's like 10 years older than me. I first met my husband, I was like, he's got a great job, he likes his parents, and he owns a house, that's a keeper, right?
Right.
But he owned a house with his two best friends. He owned a house and his two best friends lived there. It was a bachelor pad, it was gross. Trust me. Okay. We get engaged. I go to move in and I was like, these guys gotta go. Then very quickly I realized this house is not a long-term house for us. This is not gonna work. At this point, I get my real estate license. I have my son, and now we definitely cannot live in this house. And Ryan's like, well, we can't afford to buy a new house. And I said, no, you can't afford to buy a new house. And he said, well, what do you mean? And I said, you're eating our down payment every day for lunch. And he said, what do you mean? And I go, you've never taken your lunch a single time to work and the entire time we've been together.
Damn.
I pack my lunch every morning. My son has his lunch. He's here today with me, has his lunch packed with him. We pack our lunch, we bring it to work. That's what we do. Right? He packs his lunch every day for school. I have a budget for groceries in our house. Now, my husband's also an adult and he gets to make adult decisions, whether they be good, bad, or indifferent. Right? So, still to this day, sometimes I get mad at him because he eats our down payments on things. Right? And yet, it was a very real conversation I needed to have. Now, would I be as candid maybe with other customers? I don't know if I would. But in that circumstance, I had that level of rapport, right? That's a conversation I could have. I have had other customers, like I had another customer I worked with, and he was a single dude, and he wanted to buy a townhouse. And one of his very explicit must-haves was that there needed to be a Chipotle between work and home.
Oh my.
Because he ate Chipotle every single day. And he needed to be able to swing in and pick up his Chipotle. So did I look at the map of the Chipotles in Orlando and overlay it with the other map of where homes were for sale and then draw commute lines and figure out where I could get him homes where there was sure did. Or I said, hear me out, James, hear me out. We don't eat Chipotle every day anymore. And you can live anywhere. Right? So sometimes it's just about suggesting, right? But the mere suggestion can help to change the way they think. Right? And you guys have probably heard me say this before. Our job as leaders is to change the way people think.
100%.
Okay.
I call it the little drops, the little hints, the little food for thought.
Whether it's a true coaching moment or it's just a suggestion,
Just a
right?
suggestion.
But leaders, think of leaders of any great company you've ever seen. Any leader, whether they be of a social movement, or I don't care if they're a great manager in a shoe store. Any good leader simply changes the way you think. Okay.
I had a client that was not a client, he was a tenant. And his apartment was full of rent center stuff, which is expensive.
Yeah.
And you've got behind on his rent. And I said, what are you gonna, I sat down and had a little discussion. And I said, listen, you can't listen to that stereo system out in the middle of the street. Don't I keep it up?
That's right.
And I said, so you need to prioritize here what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And his eyes got so big and he said, well, you just call it like it is. And I said, yes, I do. I said, but you can't afford to do this anymore. So I've had some practice.
Well, it's the same thing that I do in my coaching program. Understand that, and you'll hear me say multiple times, I'm not going to love you out of business. I'm not going to be so nice to you and not hurt your feelings to the point that you fail. That's not love. Loving someone, caring about someone, is having hard truths and hard conversations.
And sometimes we have to have hard truths.
Right.
Other times they're clients, especially just that example.
I
Yeah,
think that's appreciated in the long run. In the short run, you may leave in tears, but in the long run,
yeah.
that's appreciated and lucky.
I have those conversations, my son is 9. And I have those conversations with him all the time. Sometimes he doesn't love it. But I keep telling him, first of all, having a weird mom builds character. And secondly, you are really lucky I'm having these conversations now. And you don't have to have them when you're 26 with a leader in your company,
Yeah.
right?
And
If you have them at 9, you're already ahead of the game.
And we have so many people that don't have anybody to confer with, to counsel with, or to have to make decisions. And honestly, they don't know how. I've had 70-year-olds in $1.5 million homes that were stuck, could not think it through.
Couldn't think it
They
through.
just needed somebody to talk to and help them to go through.
Yeah,
What was,
see that.
yes, because they were just kind of lost on what the next move. So, you know, moving is life changing.
Well, I think that when I bought the house that I saw and said, oh, I want this house, and that changed everything. The financing was beyond me.
Yeah.
Mean, I thought I was gonna buy a house and go home and everything would be perfect. And then, we had a little come to Jesus talk, that changed.
Yep.
It really opened my eyes and made me start seeing things in a totally different way. Like you said, I no longer get Chipotle, and
Yeah. Changes everything, doesn't it?
no more Dillards, no more any of that.
I never could afford Dillard's to begin with. So,
Oh,
all right.
Sell racks, sell racks.
It's the sale rack, right? All right, so we're almost ready to qualify buyers and sellers. In this section, we're actually gonna cover how to use the buyer lead sheet. You're gonna see an example of this in your book, okay? And I'm gonna tell you that I think this is an awesome sheet for you guys to use while you're getting started. And over time, this will evolve for you. All right, and you're gonna find out what really works for you in terms of what that buyer lead sheet is. So for some people, like, once again, I'm an automated person. I like things automated as much as I can. So I turned this into a Google form, right? So then when someone called, I could just click on the Google form and I could input all the information and I digitally had the information. Okay? But if you choose to be more analog, this is an excellent way to start. And then you can eventually, print out a stack of them. You've got them on your desk, the phone rings, boom. Right? You have that right there in front of you to write those things up.
Yeah, it kind of owns.
We're also going to talk about the pre-listing questionnaire. Okay? And the pre-listing questionnaire is very much the same way. In that this is a really great place to start. And over time, this will evolve for you. And you may find you need to ask different questions or it needs to be structured differently based on conversations you have. Okay? So I'm going to tell you, use whichever way works best for you. Okay. So in the last section, we started with, the win-win of qualification. So our potential clients win because we provide them with the right value at the right time, and we win because we get to focus our attention on helping clients who are actually ready to buy or sell, right? So based on what we covered in the previous sections about segmenting your database, now remember this was a few days ago, we talked about segmenting your database, and just now we talked about those A, B, and C buyers of segmentation. What might be some additional advantages of qualifying leads and contacts? What do you think are some other advantages?
Well, would it be that they can buy a house?
Yeah,
I mean.
when we know that they can, we're gonna talk to them differently, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they're making 30,000 a year, then what about $5,000?
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna be able to better engage in terms of our follow-up. And they need different messaging, right? So how to say for a down payment, changes in interest rates, all of those kinds of things for our B buyers are gonna be necessary. And honestly, those same conversations aren't necessary probably for an A buyer or seller. Right? So our A buyers need to know what listings are available right now. Whereas a B buyer doesn't need to know what's available right now, because they ain't ready yet. So many times I watch agents talk to a customer who barely has two nickels to rub together. And then they will sit down in front of their computer and they will set them up on an automated search on the MLS. I'm here to tell you to stop doing that. Okay? Because now that person, rather than being focused on the thing they need to focus on, which is getting themselves able to do the thing, they're just focused on what's pretty and shiny, which is the house at the end. Okay, so let's stop wasting our time setting them up on a search that they're gonna keep sending you houses going, ooh, I like this one, I like this one. Who cares? I don't care what you like. You can't buy it. You can't buy it.
Right.
So let's stop wasting time, right? So our C buyers, those folks, if we do want to continue to engage with them, and we do, right? They're gonna be on that 36 touch, those C buyers. Let's talk to them about, changes in their current neighborhood. New restaurants that are opening, new stores. Like there's ways to engage with them, continue to communicate, stay top of mind, and yet not go and get them completely off track with what we need them to do, right? Because we've helped them now set a goal and we need them focused on the goal. Okay, and the goal is getting able to do the thing. All right. And we make our most valuable touches in our database by really matching the message to each individual's current real estate needs. Okay. Those are the most valuable touches. So we might think we're helping them by sending them the homes that are on the market right now. We're not helping them, guys. We're just not. So we use the same buyer qualification process for all buyers and the same seller qualification process for all sellers. And why do you think we do that? Whether you're selling a house with $100,000 or $1 million, why do you think we do that?
That's what they mean.
Well, that's part of it. Yeah. That's a darn good part of it. What else?
Fair housing.
Fair housing. Fair housing regulations. There are some things you don't want to do, and one of which is break fair housing. Okay. And if anyone ever questions you in your tactics, it really behooves you to have a well-documented system of how you qualify people. This is why we document the qualification. And once again, I don't care if you write it out. I don't care if you've created a form and it goes into, your Google, a Google Drive, or how you choose to do it. I care that you do it. Okay? Because if someone comes back to question you, you can now point to exactly the conversations that were had, and you can show that they were treated exactly the same as every other customer in your database. Okay? All right, so let's look at your buyer lead sheet there. Got a buyer lead sheet there to guide you. Who wants to be a volunteer? Wants to be my buyer? I'm going to lead you through this. Tammy, you want to be the buyer? Okay, great. So we're going to pretend like we are maybe talking on the phone for an appointment we scheduled to talk. Okay. So we scheduled to talk on the phone for me to qualify you as a buyer. Right? So, hi Tammy. I just wanted to let you know that I'm really excited to help you find your new home.
Hi, Beth. It's good to hear from you. I'm excited too.
So I want to start today with some questions to make sure that I can give you a 5-star customer experience. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely.
All right, great. Let's start with some basics. So what's the best email and phone number to reach you at? Okay, great. Thank you for those. And what are the best times to be able to reach you?
Usually once the evenings to not interrupt me after, during my work day. So after 5.
Okay, great. So anytime after 5 o'clock. Perfect. So has another agent taken you out and shown you any properties?
Just a couple, but I didn't like her.
Okay, great. Did you sign any agreements with that agent?
Heck, no.
No? Okay, well, I'm excited to be the agent who takes you out and shows you some properties. Okay? Is there anyone else that's purchasing this home with you that's gonna be a decision maker?
No, just me.
Okay, great. So I wanna help you find homes that fit your needs and the needs of anyone else that's gonna be living with you. So is there anyone else that's gonna live with you?
I could have fun with that, but no, just me.
Okay. So maybe in the future, things go well. Perfect, perfect. So if we can find the right fit for you, whether that's the perfect house today, would you be willing to make an offer on that property?
I'm pretty indecisive, so I'd like to see about 40 before I make my decision.
Okay.
Research,
How long have you been looking for homes?
about 2 years online. Trust me, I've had these.
Me too. Me too. All right. So I'm curious, why are you moving?
I just need to downsize more than I want to take care of at this time. I'd like something more management.
That's a great reason to be in the market, I would say. So I have a few more questions that are gonna help me understand your needs. Are you renting right now or do you own a home?
I know.
You own a home. Okay, great. And do you need to sell your current house so you can buy the next one?
No, I prefer to, no.
Okay, great. So when is a good time for us to get together? So I could give you a market analysis on that property in case you decide to do that in the future.
That would be wonderful information to have, so how about Friday is fine, will you be available in the afternoon?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to swing by on Friday. We can talk about the value of that property. There's many reasons to do that. So maybe you don't need the money right now. And if you could access the equity in that home in order to make a better down payment on the next house, that might behoove you, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So thank you for sharing all of this. I really appreciate it. And we're talking a little bit about money, and I know that's an uncomfortable topic for some people, but I need you to be as transparent with me as possible so that I can help you on the best level. Is that understood?
Understand, yes.
Okay,
I
great.
appreciate that.
So do you have any idea of what your down payment will look like on a property?
Somewhat, if I did liquidate my home, of course, it would be more, you're correct.
Okay, wonderful. So thank you for helping me get to know your plan a little bit better. And when do you want to look at listings and what price, I guess, are you most comfortable with?
I'd like to stay, at my age, I like it to be affordable, so probably 350 under.
350 and under. Okay, when do you want to start looking for those houses?
Pretty soon, I'd like to make the move.
Okay. Is there anyone else that maybe you're gonna want their opinion on it? So maybe they're gonna be involved in the decision making?
No.
No, okay, great. So on a scale of 1 to 10, meaning 10 meaning you must buy as quickly as possible, 1 meaning you're not sure if you're gonna buy at all, where would you rate yourself?
I'd probably rate myself at a 3. It needs to be the right home because I'm tired of moving.
Okay,
And so I'd like to sell and say I can stay, so I really do want to make a good decision.
so in terms of timeline, you don't need to be in a new home anytime soon.
Don't need to be in anything, but I would really like to before mowing season comes, because I'm tired, but
Understood. I hear that. Okay, so I'm excited to help you buy your new home, and in order to help you find the perfect home, we do need to set up an appointment. So I can get you in that home in a decent amount of time. Okay. So which day is better for you? Tuesday, we can go at 6:30 p.m. and look at some houses. Or we could do Friday. I've also got a 5 o'clock on Friday or even Saturday morning. What works best for you?
Tuesday at 6:30, and that is so very true to give. I have in the beginning let people make their own appointments. You give them a couple of options, 9 times out of 10 they'll comply with yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will.
So did you see how that whole cadence went? Did I make any statements?
It was all questions and it was a lot to think about too, because a lot of people do not think about their finances. They're not educated and knowledgeable in that.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to sell your home, but what's the payments gonna be?
Right. And if you could access equity in your other home to buy the next one, and you could bring that monthly payment down by being able to do that. Did I just provide value?
Huge value, and then you're not maintaining your other phone.
And did I pretend to be a lender and talk out of term?
Absolutely.
No.
No.
No, okay,
But we also know she needs to move before the grass comes.
I'm just,
So even though she's.
I'm just making a suggestion to change the way you think about it.
Absolutely. Indecisiveness you hear, but you also hear that there is a sense of urgency there too.
Yeah.
So how do you?
So
Yeah.
when you're dragging your feet, then you're like, well, I don't wanna mow that grass.
And March is
That's
almost here with the snow melts, it's gonna
Yeah.
pop.
Right.
Maybe we should.
Yeah.
So understand that this conversation, if I had this conversation with Tammy, I probably actually would have ended this with, Tammy, when do you think you'll be ready to get serious about buying? Oh, when will that number go from a 3 to a 7? Well, definitely when the grass starts to come up, great. When the grass starts to come up, I really would like to sit down and do an in-depth needs analysis with you. Okay, that way we make the best use of our time then, and we can get you into a home quickly when that starts to happen. Rather than looking at 40 houses, wouldn't you rather I asked you a few more questions and you only have to look at 4?
Absolutely, and I would have probably just looked at it and said, you do know March is around the corner and the grass will be popping because things sneak up on people. They don't think about that and to try to.
Yeah.
You know, create that sense of urgency that they
And that's-
understand, it's gonna come very quickly. I've heard
Yeah.
it all through my career. I can't believe it's already July, I meant to have it on the market by March.
Yeah. Well, and truthfully, like this is a script I truly use in my business, which is, listen, I can ask you 5 questions today and show you 50 houses, or I can ask you 50 questions and show you 5. It's up to you. How do you want to handle it?
That's good.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm eager. I found a house, I really wanna look at it, I'm definitely thinking I'm gonna buy it, which I did, by the way. So we get through the listing, through the thing, and I'm just done home, ready to go, and we get to financing. And I go, oh, no, I'm not talking to anyone, I have no idea if I can afford it. What would you respond to that?
So if I got to that place in the pre-qualification and they're ready to go home, ready to get in the car and go and view a property, but they don't have the pre-qualification, that's when I'm gonna say, do you have a lender you prefer to work with?
Okay. Okay.
That is my first question. Do you have a lender you prefer to work with?
And if you don't, are you okay with me texting with a lender right now?
95% of the time, they're gonna say, no, I don't have a person.
Okay,
Okay, and you're gonna say, great. Would you be open to speaking with a lender today?
okay,
And if they say, yeah, I'd love to, you can say, and once again, how you choose to handle this is up to you. If you choose to offer one lender or multiple lenders, I always offer them what I call my lender list. My lender list has 3 potential lenders on it, and it simply states, you're welcome to use any lender you choose. And here are 3 lenders who will talk to you today.
so did you create the list yourself?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I created the list myself because I vetted them myself.
okay, so.
Because I was always very, understand I own a team, okay?
Yes.
So I was responsible for the income of all the people on my team.
Okay,
So you better bet that I wasn't gonna let a third party vendor affect them. Okay, I'm mama beared out about that. And I created a vendor program for my team, which means they had to agree that I would meet with them quarterly. And I would make sure that I would go over the reviews I got from my customers about that. And I would make sure that they're providing the same level of service that I demanded out of my team.
okay,
Okay? Were lenders always happy with that? Nope.
no,
Did some of them get replaced? Yep.
okay,
And that list changed.
okay, so since I'm so new at this, I'm curious about everything, is Keller Williams vetted lenders that we can use?
Sure does.
Meridian,
Okay.
Meridian is here.
No, Homefront is your
Oh,
lender.
I'm sorry, we're
Yep.
deciding.
Two in the office.
There's two different lenders, Homefront lenders here in the office. And honestly, I'm going to recommend to you that, you know, you can start talking with them because they are mortgage brokers and they have multiple lenders that they work with. But it doesn't hurt to have more names on that list.
It does not. One of my tricks that I've learned truly, because I found that people don't take that first step. I'll contact the lender. You give them the list, I'll contact. So let's say you're free to choose, you have a lender, you wanna get someone, you know, recommendations from friends.
Yeah.
And if they're, or would you like for me? And if I say, are you okay if I text?
Mhm.
And do a three, well, I'll include you and myself and I'll text my list.
So,
And they will procrastinate for weeks, but the moment I text, they get on them. Just taking the first step.
yeah, like I said, I emailed them the list, the lender list.
Uh-huh.
And I'll say to them, okay, you should have your, while I'm sitting across from them, you should have the lender list in your inbox right now. Because by the way, it's a template.
Right?
I'm not getting fancy, it's a template, okay? So I send that template to them, they look at it, and I go, can you see it now on your phone? Yeah, can. Is there one of those that you'd prefer for me to reach out to?
Okay, now what was the statement you made that you said was on your list about?
I say to them, that it doesn't matter to me who they work with,
Okay.
okay? We have to do that legally, okay, because we cannot steer them in that way.
Right.
Alright? Doesn't matter to me who you work with, and these are people I've had great experience with in the past,
Okay.
okay? And if, once I have sent that to them and they're able to look at that, and if there's a name on that list they prefer I call, I'll call that one. Otherwise, I start at the top of the list and I start working down, and I put that phone on speaker, and I dial it right there. And I say, hey Scott from FBC Mortgage, this is Beth over at the By Design Group. How are you doing today? Good, Beth. How are you? Hey, I've got Susan here. Susan is looking at purchasing a home and she's really interested in getting the process started.
Okay.
Okay. And now what this also does is it gives a little validity to your relationship with that lender. And it shows that you have an open line of communication, that you're not on two separate teams. You are all on one team now. Right? So when you refer to your customer, when you talk to your customer and you refer to it as my team, they understand that the lender is part of that.
Okay.
Okay? They understand your title person is a part of that.
And they're friendly and they're kind and they're approachable.
Yeah.
They're not.
And they're responsive because they're gonna hit the phone.
It's not to be kind.
No, that's the mental image I have.
Yeah.
Well, so many people out here have a negative opinion of realtors and lenders and so forth. And so to really truly make yourself approachable and kind and show, as Beth said,
Yeah.
very important. And if the lender can't answer, or if it's best, you can do the text, the group text, but the phone calls.
Yeah, phone call's the best. I am never afraid to call somebody on speakerphone with a customer sitting there. I actually had a member of a buyer's agent on my team once that's like, I'm always afraid to do that. Like, what if they're like rude to me on the phone? Or what if they say something out of pocket or whatever? And I go, cool. They're no longer on our list.
Speak up.
That's exactly,
Announce it, you say, I'm standing here with my client so and so.
yeah. So if you answer the phone like a fool, guess what?
They don't answer it good.
It's not gonna go well. Right? We gotta have boundaries, right, within our business.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
alright, so it wants us to role play this for a few minutes. Do you guys wanna take some time to role play the buyer qualification, or do you think you got it? Think-
I pretty much got it.
You think you got questions?
Role play.
Okay, I would rather we focus on the listing intake, cause that's gonna be probably a more difficult one, so let's skim through that real quick. So what were your ahas and takeaways from this?
Everything.
Everything, okay. But do you see the value in buyer pre-qualification now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you see how that's gonna help you decide if these are A, B, and C buyers? Right?
And how important the touches are instead of, I mean, we do need to communicate with them, pick up the phone. But the touches when they're C buyers or B buyers. How do we touch them differently to be able to pull them in and
Right.
use coming in to do so?
And once again, when we know how to When we know how to determine if they're an A, B, or C buyer, we know how to communicate with them, we know how to treat them, and they know how to treat us. Right? Because we teach people how to treat us, right? So if I know you're a C buyer, right? Because we just had that conversation, I'm gonna say to you, I'm gonna stay in contact with you, and here's your homework. Okay? I'll reach out to you periodically, and in the meantime, here's what you should be working on. Right? You should be working on completing that pre-approval letter, making sure your credit worthiness stays the same. Right? I'm gonna give them this homework, and then I'm gonna reach out to them, and I'm gonna say, hey, how's it going? Oh, great, awesome. I just wanted to touch base with you and see how you've been doing and see how, how that pre-approval is coming along. Because guess what? I've been talking to the lender, and you haven't talked to him a single darn time.
And did you pass it Chipotle for at least 15 minutes?
Did you not go to Chipotle?
Yeah.
The funny thing is he still lives in the house that I sold him that was on the Chipotle route. Yeah, still lives there. Alright.
This seriously, I moved to Louisville and I looked at both. I controlled the situation as the customer. I looked at almost 100 houses.
Oh no.
Mine gross.
Can I tell you? I don't know who your realtor was, but I would have fired you.
Mine was shiny.
I was pretty close to firing me, and I literally, she sent me a sheet about a house down through the garbage, and I dreamed about it that night. I got it back out of the garbage, I told her and said, I wanna see this house. It was an ugly picture. And she was like. And so I bought that house. And she was so thrilled. I wanted it to be really bad.
So this was the rule on my team, okay?
Yeah.
The rule on my team is my agents couldn't show you more than 5 houses without doing another buyer consultation.
Oh,
That was the rule.
okay.
So-
Beth, that is an excellent rule.
Because if we do a buyer consultation, and I think it's pretty in depth, we've narrowed it down to 5 houses for you to view. And 5 is stretching it. Sometimes I did this after 3, I was way off base, right? But we do an in-depth buyer consultation, we narrow it down to 5 houses. I take your happy butt out and drag you around to 5 houses in 100-degree Florida heat. You better bet your hind end I'm not showing you another 5 until we get it right. So we're gonna meet in the office again. And I set that expectation up at the buyer consultation. I let them know, this is how viewing homes is gonna go. We're gonna do this buyer consultation. I'm gonna set you up on an online search. You're gonna send me the houses from that search that you think you wanna view. I'm gonna look at the list of homes you sent, and I'm gonna narrow it down to the top 5 based on your needs and wants. We're gonna view those 5 homes from that list. And if at the end of those 5, we haven't found the perfect house, we're gonna come back here and we're gonna reevaluate if those needs and wants change.
That is an excellent boundary set up front.
Yeah, we love script on that.
Yes, no, that's huge.
And that way it would get to the point that by about the 3rd one, if they were not sure, I would remind them, all right, we've got a couple of more houses to go to see if we get this right. And it's okay if we don't, we're gonna regroup back at the office. And we'll pick some different ones after we regroup.
And
Okay.
anyway, well, humans are by nature, there is indecisiveness, some
Yeah.
much more than others, so it's us set the expectations.
And this is when I would then sit down with them and I go, okay, we saw these 5 houses and we talked about you rating the houses. So the first house that we looked at, you said you rated that out of 3. And you said that you rated it out of 3 because you didn't like the size of the yard and maybe you didn't like the neighborhood. So the next one had a different size yard and had a different neighborhood, but you also rated that one out of 3 because it just didn't feel right. You couldn't nail exactly what that was. The next house, like I give them exactly what they told me because I've taken the notes while we're there. And I'm gonna go, based on what you told me though, this is the size yard you wanted, and that matches the first house. So it looks like this is wrong. Are you looking for a larger yard than what you thought? oh, maybe we do want a bigger yard. Okay, great. So the houses that we were looking at, that we looked at before, that was on that 1/4 acre lot. Sounds like maybe you want a 1/2 acre. So why don't we change that in the search?
Well, in all fairness, more than half the houses, while I was in the house, they got offers.
Yeah.
They became a joke that they were gonna start renting the downtown road.
Yeah.
To show a house with just the
So
city
yes,
offers
you
every
have-
time I walked through the door. And I was like.
Well, and this
"Even
is
in
a,
that case.
this is another conversation that I have with my buyers. Is I say to them, when we do the buyer consultation, understand that if we walk into a home though, and you fall in love with that, and on that scale of 1 to 5, it's a 5. Are you gonna be prepared to put in an offer right then and there?
Okay,
And then if they go no, and I go, great, we're not ready to go look at houses yet. Because the best houses will fly off the market, regardless of what the average days on market are. And if you're in a 5 house, somebody else has been in that 5 house too. And while you're sleeping at night thinking about putting that offer in, somebody else has already put in an offer. And I'm not in the business of breaking hearts here. I don't wanna show you houses you can't have. So until you're gonna be ready to make an offer while you're standing in the house, we're not gonna go.
Not in the business of breaking hearts.
Not in the business of breaking hearts.
All your screws. Where are they?
you make these things up.
I do. I've been doing this for a very long time though. Okay,
Really good.
thank you. I mean, my customers don't always love me. I've gotten fired before, but that's fine. I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding. I have been fired before, but
You waste time on wrong client.
I was wasting time on the wrong client anyway.
Right.
Right? My people are gonna get me. Right? They're gonna understand it. And what I found is that the people who do get me immediately become raving fans. Okay? Alright, so let's talk about communicating with our A, B, and C buyers. Okay, so at this point, we've uncovered what the A, B, and C buyers are, and when you uncover a buyer who's not able or ready or willing to buy right now, we know that they are a future transaction, right? So that's pipeline business. Okay, and we want to keep people moving through our pipeline. And the only way we can do that is by creating a sense of urgency within them. But end of the day, I can't make them do anything, right? I can create a sense of urgency through my words, through my actions, and all I can really control is staying top of mind. So that's why I'm going to put them on a touch plan. Okay. So if they are a B and C buyer, I'm going to be adding them, B buyers, to this 19 to connect plan. And my C buyers are going to be in this 36 to convert plan.
So these,
B buyers would be in a 19 to connect plan. Whereas my C buyers would be in a 36 to convert plan. My A buyers are here, right? That 1 to submit. That's that high value touch that solidifies the relationship and just establish and opens the door to future interactions, right? Those are the people that we're getting them to sign contracts, right? That's our A.
why is the B only 19?
Because a B buyer should be moving to an A quickly. Right, because we talked about a few slides back what was the timeline on that? There we go. So if they're a B buyer, they're here. So this is 19 interactions in 60-ish days at most.
So the 19 touches faster.
Faster.
I didn't understand.
Yeah, it's more high density touches, right? I set them up in their grill, right? I'm really interacting with them at a high level
So the 19 happens over a shorter time.
for a period of time.
I didn't understand.
Whereas the 36 is happening over a longer period of time.
So what is the time period for 19?
The 19, no more than 60 days.
The touches are happening quicker.
Yeah.
36.
Yes,
So what is the time period for the 19 touches?
Are they every week, twice a week?
well, there's a difference.
That's what I mean.
Right.
Says.
So 4 touches quarterly,
Oh, it's 12 monthly.
12 monthly email, newsletter, market reports, and videos. 2 touches of promotional direct mail, calendars, printed marketing, 1 touch of an annual event. All of this should be happening within those 60 days. Okay? And we're doing all of this at a high density level to convert them to this. To that 1 to cement. Whereas with this one, notice that they're more spread out. We've got 26 bi-weekly emails is what we're doing here. See how this is a lot less intense of a communication pattern? Right? Whereas this is a much more high intensity because we're working on that conversion. Oh, where am I at? There I am. Qualified sellers.
And remember the days, you had said this one was, said 15, that, they were 15 to 60 days. For the B was, how many days is the other one?
There we go. That's
6
That's-
months less, okay.
Is that in the command, I mean, as far as, or do we determine the?
You're determining this.
Okay.
You're determining this. This is why we're tagging them as either A, B, and C, or as warm, as warm, nurture, and hot leads. That is how I recommend you do it in your database. But once again, those are my words, and I don't care how you do it. But in my database, these are my nurturers, these are my warm, and these are my hot.
That's what.
Have you ever found though someone that says that they're not ready for a couple of months, end up being ready in less than 30 days?
Oh yeah,
So you change your plan.
yeah. I
basically.
changed how I communicate with them. Based on that. But that's the great thing with command. If I've got them on one of these plans and then they change, I change which plan they're on. And I start communicating with them differently. So. And it's super easy to do that. Yeah, okay, qualified sellers. So let's talk about qualifying sellers. So we qualify seller leads with the pre-listing questionnaire there in your binder as well. Okay, and that helps us build relationships. And you're gonna see that there's like 6 connecting questions that classify our potential sellers as A, B, and C. So our pre-listing questionnaire will also help us create a pre-listing packet. For those of you that are in our coaching program, we are going to go in depth on a pre-listing packet here soon. All right, but the pre-listing packet is what really wins the agreement in the long run. Okay, so similar to the buyer lead sheet, the pre-listing questionnaire helps connect and qualify those potential sellers. Who wants to be a potential seller? And we will act this out. Come on.
I'm done my TV.
Oh, there's.
You'll be the potential seller? Okay. All right. Hey Julie, I'd like 5 minutes of your time to ask some important questions that'll help provide you with the best service. So let's start by making sure that I have your correct contact information. Is your phone number blah, 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 blah? And your email blah, 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 blah. Is that the best way to contact you?
That's the best.
Okay, great. Perfect. So what's the address, the home that you're interested in selling?
90 High Ridge Road.
Okay, 90 High Ridge Road. Okay, great. Thank you. And the first thing I need to start on is your market analysis. So I've got a few more questions, starting with how did you hear about me and my business?
I heard about you, I was Googling best agents and your name came up.
Oh, okay, great. Why do I ask that, guys? Why am I asking how she heard about me?
So we know where I'm.
That's right, return on investments. This is for my business, my inside my business stuff, okay? And that way I can also tag the opportunity I'm now creating for this customer. I'm gonna tag the opportunity with that lead source, so I can keep track of it.
If they're working with another realtor, do you back off or do you keep going?
If they've signed an agreement, I back off.
Oh, okay, but if they haven't signed anything.
If they haven't signed anything, the other realtor hasn't done their due diligence.
Okay, That's.
That's how I feel about that. Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
So, all right, thank you. So the first thing I want to shift our focus a little bit. All right, so where are you planning on moving to?
Well, closer to Lexington, Georgetown, outer skirts of Lexington.
Outer skirts of Lexington, great. And what's motivating you to move right now?
Getting closer to my daughter and house.
Okay, wonderful. How soon do you need to be there?
Within 6 months, but
Can you ask them questions about our kids at that point, or I don't know.
Oh yeah, you can. This is absolutely where you could do the Ford mom.
Can
Yeah,
Where's a little heat
Yeah. you're getting cold. My things we
got
got out.
Wearing her clothes.
And I know you're moving around, so I'm good. I'm like,
I just said, what do you
Yeah.
think? Pretty soon we're gonna have hands.
I got my hot coffee here and I'm moving around, so I'm good. Yeah.
Right there.
And I'm at a certain age, so like I get hot flashes anyway, so I'm fine and yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't even taken my coat off, I'm so cold.
Okay. All right, let's go back to this. So how soon do you need to be there?
I'd like to be there yesterday, but you know, we have to sell and things don't move that quickly and so.
Okay, well, thanks for sharing those details with me. So if we sell your home in the next 30 days, will that pose a challenge for you or anyone in your household?
Getting ready to get out, I think be the only thing.
Okay, great. That's helpful to know. So what would happen if your home did not sell?
Take it off the market and wait and do it again. I need to get to closer to my grandchildren.
Okay. Thank you for helping me understand your situation. So tell me, do you have a number in mind that you would like to list your home for?
It needs to be over what we paid for it.
Okay.
And enough to cover the fees for the realtors and things. So
Okay.
it doesn't have to be excessive, but it's a great property, it's too big. So
Okay. One more question about the home. How much do you owe? How much do you owe on the property currently?
don't have to say.
Yeah.
I'll say 400,000.
Okay, 400,000. All right. So I'm gonna be sending you a packet with some information by the end of the week. All right. Will you take a few minutes to review it before we meet?
Of course.
Okay, great. So we're gonna meet, the next meeting that we do is gonna be at your house, so I can see the property itself. Okay? I have time available on Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock, or I have time on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Which time works best for you? Monday. Okay, great. So I'll get that packet to you by Friday, so you've got time over the weekend to review it. Does that work for you?
Yes.
Okay, great. So do you have any questions for me before we meet?
I don't think so.
Okay. And will all the decision makers be there on Monday?
Yes.
Right. Well, I look forward to meeting you and I will see you on Monday. I hope you have a fantastic day. And if you come up with any questions between now and Friday, when I bring that packet, just let me know and I can put the answers to those questions in that packet for you. Okay?
I really do want to sell it.
That
was a real.
worked out well.
I really want to sell the house. Yeah.
Okay. What did you take away from that? What did you take away from that? What was I doing there?
Getting details.
What did I not ask her about this house?
The size.
I didn't ask her the size of the house. I didn't ask her how many bedrooms. I didn't ask her how many bathrooms. I didn't ask her if it's got a shed.
No,
I didn't.
why didn't you ask? Sometimes I have to ask if you know the whole.
Yeah, because I'm pre-qualifying at this point. Before I'm gonna deep dive and get real serious, I want to know, once again, are you able?
Ignorant person.
Are you ready? And are you willing? Right?
Did you say that later on there's a more in-depth?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I meet her at the house, I'm gonna go more in depth with her when I do my actual listing presentation.
Okay.
Okay, but the analysis I'm gonna do on her home is going to be based on tax records and things I can find out about the house. Right? Which is why when we do our analysis on the home, I recommend we don't give them an exact price that we think they should list the house at. we give them a range that the home could be sold in. And then they pick the price. Because we know 3 things sell houses: price, condition, and location. Right? I can't change the location of the house, and I can figure out the location of the house from tax records, right? That's solid, that's there. The only variable that we can really alter that will affect the value of the property is the condition of the home. Which is why we give a range of prices, and we talk about the ways then that the condition could be changed to alter the value when we're in the house. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. I see agents shoot themselves in the foot about this all the time. They assume the condition of the property, they show up, the house is a mess and it smells like cat pee.
Yep.
And it has an indoor outdoor pig. I had a listing that had a pig that I didn't see coming. And now they've shot themselves in the foot because they said it could be sold much higher than it could be, based on condition. Whereas if we give a range, we can tell them based on the condition of the property it currently is in, it's gotta be at the bottom of this range. Now, if you're willing to alter the condition of the property and rehome your pig, it can go up the scale. Right? But now we're also altering the marketing, we're altering our approach to them based on what their needs are and what's important to them. Because it might be important to them that they don't have to put any money into this house, any extra money into this house. And if that's the case, then they understand that we're gonna be listing at the bottom of the range and we're respecting that they don't wanna put any extra money into it. But if we go in with that top value number for them, and that's the only thing we're giving them, we basically have to force them to put the money into the house to sell it there. Or we have set an unrealistic expectation and we're gonna keep getting lowball offers and all they're gonna do is get mad at us.
And as one realtor said, I'd rather you throw tomatoes because I'd rather you. Oh gosh, I totally forgot it, it left my mind, sorry. Instead of throwing tomatoes, rotten tomatoes at me at the end, essentially. It's tough, we have to be frank.
Yeah,
It's not easy to tell someone.
I've been
You need
told
to
I'm a
figure-
very direct communicator. And I
Just to
think,
be
once again, I think that is a love language,
Yes.
right? We show we care about people by not candy coating it.
I walked in a house and cigarette smoke knocked me dead.
Mm-hmm.
Where we.
What would you tell that?
We-
young man?
And
I had one with
I
Matt.
had 5 houses I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, what would you tell a client wanting to sell about the cigarette?
I would say based on the condition of the property, here's your price range.
Okay,
Based on the condition of the property, I'm gonna recommend you list this home at the bottom of this range.
would you tell them why?
Yeah,
What would the cigarette?
they know, and they're gonna go, well, I wanna list it up here, and you're gonna go, and your home could sell there. If you're willing to make changes to the home in order to do that, are you open to making changes? Are you able and willing to make changes to the home? Well, I don't wanna put another dollar into it, great. Based on the condition of the property, it should be listed here. Well, what's wrong with my house? Sir? Your home is a great home. And the cigarette smell is going to affect the value of the property. You may not notice it as strong as you do because you live here every day. I don't notice what my house smells like because I live there every day.
Right.
And somebody who doesn't live here every day when they walk in is going to notice that immediately. And it's gonna turn off a lot of buyers. So what we can do to attract buyers to the home is pricing it properly. The best thing we can do.
That's good, I mean, I wonder, cause I just turned around walking out, I didn't.
Well,
turn it on.
When I said cat pee, that was an actual thing I did. I made that mistake. Okay? The home was a beautiful home from the exterior. I told them what they could sell their home for. And I walked in to do the actual listing presentation And I'm not kidding you, when I walked in that front door, now mind you, this was in Florida, all the floors were tile, there's grout in the tile. They had 3 cats and nobody used a litter box,
Oh my God. Really?
which means it was in the grout.
Yeah.
There were baseboards that were pulling away from the walls from where like the pee had splattered on the walls.
That's correct.
We went to walk up the stairs, there was a pile of cat on the stairs, at like eye level as you're walking up the stairs.
Mine had one last year that was so severe, I called her the cat, lady, I still do.
Yeah,
But, and so it's how to get rid of it is a huge. Knowing, having the knowledge of that.
so those
We were
folks,
able to
but those folks, I was able to have a very frank conversation with. And I flat out told them, I said, based on the condition of this property, this number I gave you, I can't even give you this range properly. Okay, it's gonna be below this, unless you're willing to move out and make changes to this house. You're gonna have to move out to do it, because you gotta get the cats out.
Well, they just brought their micro pool down by about 50-60.
And they said, okay, what's it gonna take? So I laid it out for them, you're gonna have to move out of this house. We're gonna need to have the floors steam cleaned, baseboards replaced and probably drywall in certain places. Air ducts cleaned, ozone machines brought in, like I went through the whole thing.
Yeah.
I said, and then we're still gonna probably have to have it professionally staged, because now we're bringing in something that's good, that is fresh, that will help to mask scent again. Okay. And I laid out all the costs for it and they were willing to do it. To get it sold. So don't assume what they're willing to do either. Don't go, oh, they're never gonna be willing to make the changes, or they're never gonna lay out what it's gonna take and be really honest. Because I think you're gonna be surprised what they're willing to do to make it work.
This
This
is
is
cigarettes,
cigarettes.
also be like, don't say, you don't have to do anything, you can still sell this house.
We can still sell this house, but it's gonna be,
It's gonna be less, because you don't want them to be like, well, I don't have any money, so I'm gonna live.
Well, that's true, and I'm getting ready to do a CMA for a girl that essentially they don't want to do anything. I want to do nothing to the home.
Thank you, please.
And I did
That's-
one before if they did X amount,
Yeah.
and now she said, we're done. And so how much is that gonna cost them? A lot. It
Yeah.
might cost them 25, 30, 40,000 a month. But, you know,
there you go.
yeah,
Thank you for answering my question.
Not a problem, that's what I'm here for. Okay, take some time, guys, partner up, and I want you to try to walk through this questionnaire. Okay, take 5 minutes each, right? Find a partner, walk through this. I want you to get real comfortable with having these conversations. And once again, don't get in depth. Don't get in depth on me.
you wanted a realtor, right? I'm sure. And I'll be your client?
Yeah.
You what?
You don't need it.
Sometimes I ever show up, it's not. So yeah, so you made me laugh. Anyhow, I'm teasing.
I'm seeing you, Carol.
It's nice to meet you, Carol. Okay, go ahead, I'll be your client.
Bear with me on this. This is the new form, so I'm going slow for it. Thanks. This is just got it. See, right, these again. Hi. Okay. My neighbor. So he says. Yes.
It's fine.
Right. And.
Sister, sounds like Susan, but this is the one day case all right. Okay. Carol, I know our person, I love house. Yeah, what part of the administration?
Yeah. See, that's. Where are you? So that's the location.
How soon do you want to invite to? Well, right now, we're selling about $6,000 a month. That sounds good. It's very doable. What's the
Just let us try to think quiet.
if you're also in certain years, it could be down.
The little rates.
No worries. Yes, I own my cheese. Yes, I own my house. Sorry. Yes. Yes, okay. And absolutely. It's not an issue. So much. I'm out on the next Friday, but no.
Yes, yes, so there's gonna create more efforts and things and so. Idea was to go to certain. That's not really. And so it's. Also, I must have there's there as a competitive to sell the. That's why I make it.
And then who's
You
yours?
sell your. 297. They're.
You so often just have to do this. If you take them to the carrier, people right there.
Sure.
Needs. Do you have any questions before?
These guys. I don't know that. Absolutely. So, and then.
All the decisions, right?
Years.
Morning. So.
Wait a second.
Property, that's where I used to. So it was like. It's that way.
In the trace county, different kinds of that's not bad, just to show, just like how each starts. So then.
Reset your home. Every day. Yeah.
Transition. Yeah. Usually do the next time it's 10 comes. That's a good, thank you. Yeah, so you have to. Well. Do they? Research.
But these.
You know, it can send it such a good time, or you have to sort of. With this, right?
And remember, we have to also give them a reason we wanna talk to us again. We ask everything up front, and
Yes,
we have the whole conversation about value and all of that stuff. What value is the next conversation,
yeah. I understand.
right?
Very, very, very true, exactly.
What value is the next conversation?
There's so many challenges with dependent upon function. It's
Right.
all dependent upon the client and the price range.
Well, my client was saying that maybe unreasonable expectations.
There's a lot of this.
There's a lot of unreasonable expectations.
So especially in today's market.
Some
you're
that's
gonna
got
be a
questions.
answer.
Alright, guys, what's our feedback on this?
The form is really good.
Yeah?
Really, really good.
And you can see how I was saying before though, this is a great place to start. And as you evolve, you might realize that your conversation flows differently, or you just naturally like to say. And then create your own form and just put the questions in a different order or whatever it might be, okay? Don't feel like you're stuck to this, you have to make it feel very inauthentic having the conversation. And I highly recommend, like I said, I just created a Google form with this information on it, these questions on it. I had 2 Google forms and I just tacked them to the top of my computer screen. So then when people would call or I'd be having those phone conversations and I wanted to pre-qualify, I just clicked it, I could put the information in, and it was already going to a spreadsheet for me. I'm not losing pieces of paper.
Okay. The Google form, click, 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 I just got it.
Yeah,
So it automatically goes to a spreadsheet.
yes.
No, wait a minute. Google form, what do you mean Google? Just
You can
Google.
create a Google form where it, like, yeah, like if you,
Need harvest information.
yeah,
Through a form. So if you fill
I
out,
can show you what Google Forms are.
Okay.
Yeah,
no,
and they're
Google
very
Docs,
easy to
Google
use,
Sheets all
and
that.
essentially it looks like a splash page that you're just putting information into, but on the back end, it's taking that information and putting it into an already formatted spreadsheet for you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
You think, they've been mulling this over in my mind, as I'm thinking to myself. What's that, that's not really saying, so we say, thinking, you should take the knife again.
I recommend that everybody take Ignite at least 3 times in a quarter.
Okay,
Minimum. You
okay.
should take it when you first start,
I can mull
you should
this
take it
over.
when you can, and you should take it about 3 years into cap.
Okay.
So you stop developing bad habits.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
it takes about 3 years to develop some real bad habits.
As I've been doing studying for the Kaplan. I keep thinking, maybe I should retake Ignite after I get this today.
Yeah.
Because this is making me think of what that I need to do when I get out there.
so your name.
But I think I wanna refresh it when I
You
get
should,
out
you
there.
absolutely should, for
Okay.
sure. Okay,
Okay. Mind blown.
okay, here guys. If you liked my class today, my name is Beth, otherwise, I'm anybody for me.
Yes, it's,
Alright, so this was an in-person course, you're not gonna find my name here, so just go ahead and find where it says instructor not in drop down. And then you can add my name. My name is Beth Gravilla, Gravilla. And this is Ignite session 13, qualify potential buyers and sellers lead follow-up. Okay?
Speak to you about horseman science.
Yeah, and we're serving Ohio Valley,
Yes, we are the Ohio Valley region.
which makes me laugh.
Yes. So we have covered the importance of following up with people in your database forever, and if you did not get that part, please get it now, okay? You have to remain top of mind, so when they have a real estate need, they're reaching out to you and not the other 25 realtors they know. Okay, all about staying top of mind. We covered lead conversion, we've covered strengthening your relationships, and finally now we've talked about qualifying and categorizing those potential clients. Okay. Now the important piece though is creating a strategy around doing all of that. So if you have not written down what your strategy is for each, make sure that you're doing that, all right? There is a spot in your book where you can write down your strategies for doing this. Okay.
Giving you good reviews, you're gonna graduate and leave us.
Listen, like I said, I always think it's important to share your goals with people. One of my goals is to become a Keller Williams University certified instructor.
Yes.
And if I can do that, I'm not leaving you.
Okay.
Okay, I will still very much work here, and I am a workaholic and will probably just travel and teach and then come back here. Okay? But bottom line is the importance here was staying top of mind, right? This was all about staying top of mind. Right?
I said I'm going on vacation in April, so I can get away from all y'all and work.
You get business tickets.
So you can go to, I always say that if you want to go on vacation, like if you want to be the busiest you've ever been, plan a really important, fancy, expensive vacation. Because nothing, it happens every time. I swear to God, you'll be like at the airport and somebody wants to put an offer in and you're like, well, I just want to get on my plane, right?
Almost every single time.
Me and my girlfriends, we just bought tickets to the Harry Styles concert in Madison Square Garden in October. For those of you that don't know, I'm way too old to be there and it's gonna be awesome and I'm so excited. So we're doing this big fancy girls trip to New York City in the fall and we're gonna go see Harry Styles at Madison Square Garden. I said to them, there's no doubt in my mind, I'm gonna be working out offers in the airport. It happens every time. And this is now also why I like to fly first class when I go places, because it is easier for me to write offers on planes. Cause that's what happens.
Yep.
Hello, come on in. Alright, guys, so thank you for spending your time with me today, learning this stuff. If you find it in your heart to give back to our community here, KW Cares is close to my heart. And I hope you can find $5 in your life that can go towards helping other agents. I've seen them in action. It is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. The way Keller Williams shows up for their own agents and the communities where their agents live. All right, like I said, as a Florida agent, I've watched them show up for hurricane after hurricane. And they are on the ground and supporting the community long before the Red Cross even gets there. Watching them mobilize and help people, it will get me emotional. Like it's an incredible thing to see. So if you can find it in your heart to do that, they do amazing work. They also do grants for people right here in our own market center. Understand that there's a certain level of giving that happens on throughout every market center. So if there's people who have tragedies, are affected by natural disasters, illness, things that are unexpected, they can apply for grants, and up to $40,000 of grants have been given to agents right here in this market center. So know that when you give money to KW Cares, our own agents are being impacted by this. Okay. KW Next Gen is something I'm also really passionate about. Those of you that don't know about KW Next Gen and want to know more information, you can look online. There is information online about KW Next Gen, and come and talk to me about it. One of the things that they offer that I think is super duper cool is something called Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap is a 2-day long course that's taught in Austin, Texas. And Gary Keller teaches it. This is for young people. This is for teenagers and young adults. And they sit in a room with Gary for 2 days and he talks to them about how to think differently about life and business. And if I had had that at 18, I think about how different my life would have been.
Do they go on, can you take it by, teams or?
By like a Zoom?
Or anything?
He doesn't offer do Zoom, but the KW Next Gen team, there is a team of other instructors that will go regionally around and teach the courses. And in fact, there's actually opportunities within the Ohio Valley region to get instructors for KW Next Gen. So if you are passionate about this as I am, this is a great opportunity to become an instructor as well.
I've been a teen.
Yeah. So they do them in person and there's a reason for that. There's a lot of like actual action-based items that happen during Quantum Leap. So you need to be in a room to do that, to get that the most out of it. But you know, if like I said, if you're interested in it, I'm happy to give you more information on it.
Awesome.
It's really cool stuff. All right, so what were your ahas from today?
We need to get a coach like you. We definitely need to find the scripts, because some of the scripts are just amazing.
So what I'm hearing you say is everyone's gonna come to script practice.
We need script practice.
Everyone's gonna come to script practice.
Is
Okay.
there
So as soon as Ignite is over, as soon as Ignite ends, understand script practice will happen every day from 9 to 9:30. Without fail.
Okay,
we're gonna
now,
have
wait a
script-
minute. Once Ignite is over.
Once Ignite is over.
You have script practice from 9 to 9:30 every day.
Yep, Monday through Thursday.
FEC coaching.
And as part of the productivity coaching program, we have that.
Okay.
Tammy, you should join the productivity coaching program. So every day we'll have it from 9 to 9:30, and then from 9:30 to 11, we do lead generation, and that's what Anjana is here for right now. Is right now we're gonna hop into lead generation.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so we're gonna hop into lead generation time now, guys.
All right,
It is on the calendar. Believe it or not.
It is.
It is.
I was gonna say 9:30 to.
9 to 9:30 is gonna be script practice, and then from 9:30 to 11 will be lead generation every day. As you're part of the connectivity coaching program, I'll give you a calendar with all of that.
I'm not there yet.
We're getting there. We're getting there. How are you, ma'am?
I'm okay.
Yeah, what's going on with you?
Nothing really.
Yeah, how's that listing going?
We're under contract.
Love,
Yeah.
so they accepted the offer,
Mhm.
love,
And so we're doing all that.
when's our proposed closing date?
March 2nd.
Okay.
Proposing.
Great.
Cause we're doing, side by side.